All events are neutral. You are the one that places the value upon it. Hello friends, in this video I'm going to talk about Lesson 9 in the Way of the Heart, and this is the first book of the Way of Mastery. These books are a channeling of Jesus, or Jeshua ben Joseph, and the lessons provide a pathway to enlightenment, or to remembering what we truly are, or to reaching Christ consciousness. These lessons reestablish Jesus' teachings. And the channeler is JON MARC HAMMER, or Jayem. The main idea of Lesson 9 is neutrality, or that all events are neutral. Our thoughts of them are not neutral. That's what makes them seem not neutral, but the events in themselves are neutral. This is the same message that Bashar shares, who is channeled by Daryl Anka. He says, life is meaningless. What? Life is meaningless. What he means by that is that nothing has built-in meaning, or that everything is neutral, and that we give it the meaning. We assign it the meaning. All webs of relationship, all energy fields are absolutely neutral. What creates experience is how you decide you will view that web of relationship, that field of energy. The effect of that decision is also completely neutral. And then he goes on to say the purpose of our body here is a communication device. The purpose is to extend the will of the whole, of Spirit, of the Father. So in every moment you are ceaselessly communicating with the rest of creation. Or in other words, you are ceaselessly creating. For you see, the body that you have crystallized out of a field of infinite energy has but one purpose. It is a communication device. For ceaselessly, while the body lasts, you are engaged in the process of communicating to the world, making manifest to the world, what you have chosen to value, what you have called into your experience and imbued with value. This means that ceaselessly you are engaged in teaching the world what you believe holds the greatest truth, the greatest value. And he provides a really good example of trees. And he says some people see trees as like environmentalists would see a tree, a beautiful living thing that should be respected, should not be cut down, should not be destroyed. And then some people see trees as a material to be used, like a logger. And he compares these two viewpoints, and he points out if an environmentalist sees loggers cutting down trees, he imbues that experience as bad, and he judges the logger. He says that is bad, should not kill these trees. But again, he reminds us it is neutral. The cutting down of trees is neutral. This is hard for me in particular, to see it this way, to see it all as neutral. It's like, of course that's bad, in my opinion. But he says that when you see it that way, then you are judging. And then you're communicating judgment out into the world. And then you're calling that energy to yourself. You're creating that, along with all the things that come with judgment: war, criticism, hate, anger, fear. And it's interesting because he says from his perspective, it's okay. Life goes on. Life is ceaselessly creating more life. New worlds are being birthed every moment, every second. So he says, do not be sad, do not fear the loss of life on earth. It is merely a dream. It's merely a shimmer, an illusion. And then he says, of course, you're not condoning destructive behavior. You don't condone that, but that you are consciously choosing what you're communicating to the world. Are you becoming a channel of love and light? Or are you judging and therefore turning the dimmer switch down on your light? And then he says, this is why forgiveness is so important, and why he said, always forgive 70 times 7. Because what you're choosing to do is see everything with love, with forgiveness. And in other words, you're seeing everything without judgment. So you're always communicating love, so that all the energy that's called to you is love, peace, union. You are guaranteeing your peace, your awakening, by imbuing things with the definitions and perceptions you prefer. Fear is the result of your attachment to the values you have placed upon the events you experience, which are made up of events, person, places, things. All of these are actually just events. Every web of relationship comes to you perfectly neutral. You decree it by naming it and defining it. When one comes to you in anger and you react, recognize that you first decided that they are angry, and you have brought forth with it all of the associations you have ever decided to value concerning what anger means. And yet, in that very moment, you hold the power to witness this field of energy circulating through the body and mind and the speech of another, and to see it as a dance of energy, a mystery arising from some unseen force, some unseen web of relationships. And you could look upon it with curiosity and with wonder, if you defined it differently. This is true for all things that arise. You are a creator, and you cannot help but create. The question then is, what will you create in each moment? Far beyond the great thrill of the magic of creating events or objects in third-dimensional reality are the qualities that you create, such as peace, unlimitedness, forgiveness, compassion, wisdom. These too are creations. And then he makes the important distinction of saying, your thoughts are never neutral. Events are neutral, but your thoughts are powerful and are always creating the effect. Never, never believe that your thoughts are neutral. I said earlier events are neutral, but your thoughts are not, for your thoughts literally are imbued with the power of creation. They do not create neutrally. That is, every thought reverberates a quality of vibration that spreads out from you, touches the shores of manifested reality, and comes back to you. That is what you experience as the positive and negative events of your life. And this is very interesting, this next point he makes. He talks about karma, and he says how many on our planet describe karma as whatever you put out is what you get back, and you're stuck with that. If you did bad things, it's inevitable, bad things will happen for you, and you can't help it. He says this is not correct, because that would make you a victim, and you are not a victim. You are a powerful creator, and you are one with your creator, because we are made in the image of God, so like begets like. And the whole point of this lesson, he says, is to help us realize of how free we really are. So no matter what ripples we sent out, when they're coming back, we still choose the effect those ripples will have on us, because they're neutral. Even if they are ripples coming back from previous thoughts, old thoughts that you've had or beliefs, they will not affect you if you simply choose that they won't affect you. We're seeking then to share with you how infinitely free you are. There are many in your world that teach this illusory doctrine of what is called the karma, that what you send out now you must experience sooner or later, and how you experience it is directly related to the quality of the ripple you send out. That is not true. That would make you a victim. And if you are made in the image of God, and I assure you that you are not a victim of the world you see. You cannot, in reality, be victimized by anyone or anything at any time, because your reality is that you are made in the image of God. And if you could truly be victimized, it would mean that God creates unlike himself. And then he shares a little affirmation or a dialogue to go through as you see these ripples that may come, that might be from previous thoughts or beliefs that you've outgrown but are still coming back to you, so that you remain neutral and unaffected by them. This has come into my field of experience as an awesome mystery, and this means that I am an awesomely powerful being. Therefore, I will look lovingly upon this ripple. Yes, I know it needs to play itself out, but as it does so, I'm going to be wise enough to see the transparency of it, to see the lack of effect that it really has. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't add anything to my life. It doesn't take anything from it. It merely is an experience called life, passing through the field of my awareness. If I look lovingly upon it, if I embrace it, I can transmute it, and therefore already be engaged in the process of creating a whole different kind of vibrational ripple that will create my tomorrows. And now he shares a daily exercise, and he says this is very important. And these lessons provided in these books, The Way of Mastery, and in this book, The Way of the Heart, each lesson is supposed to be a month long. So you're supposed to read one lesson per month. So this exercise he shares next, you're supposed to do for a whole month. And it's pretty simple. It's for 5 minutes to sit in a chair and to be with yourself. Not with another, not with a religious figure, not with anything else in your mind, just yourself. And recognize and acknowledge that you are the creator of your experience. Give yourself 5 minutes to choose, to practice choosing how you'll experience sitting in a chair, with a mind full of worry or a mind full of peace. 5 minutes of practice sitting in a chair as an infinite creator of exactly what you are experiencing in your emotional field. Just that. You might even want to play with what it would feel like to sit in a chair as a Christ. What would that feel like? 5 minutes each day. Do it without fail. Be with yourself and decide how you will experience yourself now. And then he reminds us it's not something outside of us that we're seeking. It is simply realizing that we are that energy we're seeking for. For so many of you upon your physical plane keep searching for some form of magic that will bring the kingdom of heaven to you. You can't bring it to you. You can only become aware of how you are using it to create the ripples that you send out from yourself. Do you know the saying in your world, wherever you go, there you are? You are God's creation. You're in heaven now. Heaven is not a place. It is a state of unlimited and infinite creative power, because it is the reflection of God's holy mind. This lesson and all the lessons from the Way of Mastery are available for free online at womlibrary.com. And check out the next lesson, Lesson 10, where Jeshua shares some of his own experiences while he was on earth. Thank you.